Welcome to the channel, guys. We are back again, and today I'm going to be talking about two fragrances, Chocolate Greedy by Montale and Salt Caramel by Shay and Blue. So stay tuned for that. And if you like the content, hit that like and subscribe button. Really do appreciate it. So these are two fragrances that I picked for a couple reasons to talk about. One, they're both kind of gourmand fragrances. They have a lot of sweet food-like notes, and I do think they both come off quite gourmandy as well. Both of these fragrances have been talked about and hyped up by Big Beard Business, and that's actually where I thought about getting both of these because he does make them both sound quite good, and I wanted to try them out. Now, I will just say, I did get these both from Lucky Scent. These samples, not sponsored in any way. That's just where I picked up the samples. Only thing I do not like about the samples is that they're all dab on. I just don't really like dab on, but they do have a good selection, and it's a nice way to sample some fragrances. I'm going to start off with Montale Chocolate Greedy. And I will say I was definitely not disappointed with this one. It's very, very well done. And if you like chocolate fragrances, this is one you should definitely check out. It starts off a little bit powdery. There is that cacao in it, and it does have a bit of a powdery vibe, kind of like powdered cacao. Now, I believe something like vanilla starts to sort of become a little more prominent, and it becomes a little smoother. That sort of powdery, dusty vibe disappears, and it becomes a lot more like a nice chocolate bar or something like that. Very nice chocolate in this, and it is a fairly linear fragrance. It doesn't change that much over the life, but if you like this really nice almost milk chocolate, doesn't come off like a dark chocolate, but it's not super milky. There is a slight creaminess there that does make it seem more like an actual bar of chocolate than just powder chocolate, although I do get a little bit of that vibe throughout, and it does keep it away from smelling too much just like cacao. But anyways, very well done, very nice chocolatey fragrance. I think this would be a good one to wear, of course, in the colder weather. It's sweet, it's a little bit sensual in that it is definitely very chocolatey. And I mean, you could wear this on a night out for sure, actually. I think that would be kind of a nice time to wear this because it does have that sweetness, that chocolatey vibe that is appealing for those type of situations. And it does perform fairly well. So this is a Montale fragrance. They do generally perform very well. This one doesn't disappoint. I would say I do get around the 8-hour mark. Now, there are more beast mode Montales than this. This is not the most beast mode Montale that I have ever tried or sampled, but it is definitely one that is a good performer. Good projection. You know, it has the first couple hours. It does project fairly strong, and then it comes in a little bit closer, but it's not a skin scent by any means. But it's not absolute beast mode. So it's somewhere in between there. Performs well. Long-lasting, good fragrance. If you like chocolate, this is definitely one for you. It's definitely one you should try out. I do enjoy this one. And now I'm going to go to the Shay and Blue. Now, Shay and Blue, I was a little bit surprised by this one. So a lot of people have talked about this as smelling kind of like salted popcorn, and I don't especially immediately get that. In fact, it reminds me a little bit of Mula Mula. So I don't believe that there is any kind of red berry note listed, but especially in the opening, there is a bit of a freshness, and it does come off like it has that red berry vibe that you definitely get in Mula Mula. And it does also have caramel, which I believe Mula Mula has. And so it has that sweet kind of toffee-like accord that you find caramel often gives you. So it is nice. It is interesting. I was a little bit disappointed because it wasn't quite what I was expecting. Definitely not in the opening. It does smell good, but it definitely doesn't. I did not get that salted popcorn vibe in the opening. And that lasts for actually quite some time. That sort of red berry, fresh vibe lasts definitely for me on my skin for 2-3 hours. Into the dry down, the deeper dry down, this I do start to get a little bit of that popcorn vibe. It does smell a little bit more like, I guess, popcorn. I get a little bit more of the salt. So in the opening, I get none of the salt at all. It's just sweet, fresh, almost aquatic at times with that sort of toffee-like feel. In the Drydown is when I start to get more of that salt, that popcorn vibe, and it definitely still has a little bit of that sweetness. The red sort of berry vibe that it has in the opening tones down a lot as well. So it does, I do actually really like the Drydown. I will say the Drydown's quite nice on this one. Not that the opening is bad, it's just, I guess, not really what I wanted. I mean, I do like Mula Mula, but I think maybe I've worn it too many times. It's just something I'm not as interested in as I used to be. Tastes do obviously change as well. Of course, I know it's a fantastic fragrance, but I'm not feeling it as much as I used to, and the initial vibes off this one gives me something similar. But that popcorn Drydown is really nice. It's a little bit unique too, because I don't find a lot of fragrances that have that type of gourmand flavor to them. Almost all the time it's like a sweet dessert, which this still kind of is. It's very sweet, but popcorn is not really the vibe that a lot of them go for. Very, very nice. Now, this is a high quality fragrance, I will say that. The quality is there from the beginning to the end, and it does certainly last a long time. Actually, the first time I put this on, it lasted all through the night, all into the next day. I would say easily over 12 hours, probably pushing the 15-hour mark on how long it lasted. Now, it wasn't absolutely beast mode when I woke up the next day, but it was still present on my skin. I could still smell it, to my surprise. The chocolate greedy, which I was trying at the same time, I couldn't smell anymore. So this one definitely has a lot more longevity, and that's really impressive longevity. But anyways, it is quite strong, so this one does project very strongly for the first 2 hours or so. It does settle down a little bit, but it's still fairly strong for the next 6 to 7 hours. Definitely get whiffs of it, definitely get sillage. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit different, but it still has definitely a familiar opening, I would definitely say try out Shay Blue Salt Caramel. So for my overall thoughts, I do actually think I like Chocolate Greedy a little bit more. It's definitely a very top quality chocolate fragrance. It's a little bit milky, a little bit creamy, and a little bit powdery at the same time, with that sort of broken chocolate kind of aspect to it where you have the chocolate crumbles. And it is a really, really good chocolate fragrance. And I find that, especially for something that is so straightforwardly chocolate, it's done really well. It's not boring in any way, even though it is very linear. Shay Blue, I also think this is a good fragrance. I do like the Drydown, but I would say ultimately that the opening is very familiar to me, and it comes off a lot like a little bit of a fresher Mula Mula with that sort of red berry accord and the caramel and toffee. Both of them are worth checking out, so if you do get a chance to get your nose on these ones, I definitely recommend it. If you like gourmand fragrances, I think both of these are potential that you could like. Both of them more suitable for the colder months. I think the Shay Blue is a little bit more versatile. This one's definitely, or the Chocolate Greedy is a little bit more of, definitely more of, I think, a nighttime fragrance, but good for fall and winter. And it is going to be a bit of a people pleaser, I think, especially with that chocolate vibe. The Shay Blue is fresh enough that you could even potentially, I think, wear this one in the spring. Definitely fall and winter, because it is very strong and very long lasting. And it is, I think it is definitely one that's a little bit more playful, so you can wear it a little bit more casually. Whereas this one, I definitely think is best for nights out. But of course, I could wear it casually as well, personally. But that's just me. Anyways, those are my final thoughts. Both these fragrances are good. But again, Chocolate Greedy is the one that wins for me. Have you tried any of these fragrances? Leave a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Are there any others from Shay Blue that you think I should check out? Or are there any Montales that you think I should check out? Of course, I've tried Oud Amazing, so try and recommend to me, please, something else that you think is worth checking out. Anyways, guys, I think I'm going to cut the video there. So leave a comment down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video.